What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Listen, we are back again, Brooklyn Beards and Ball Sports Show. You already know it's your boy Rod, Don, Scrap. We are in the building. You know the what ups are always in effect because that's about all I can add pretty much for the rest of this season. Get some good what ups. I promised the guys that I would give them some consistent what ups, highs and lows, which is a lot of lows. But despite my feelings and how disappointed I am in my Cowboys this season, I'm still going to bless the fellas and give you, America, some consistent what-ups. But y'all know what to do. Tag, like, share. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Where else we at, D? Where else we at?
Not TikTok yet, but possibly soon. TikTok. Okay. It's on me. We need to really push and get on TikTok, but
it's no problem, man. And America, I just want to let you know, man, Don be working hard, man, pushing the show, getting us all the places we need to be. He out there circulating and stuff like that. Your boy's been lazy. Don's been holding it down, really, if I could just be honest with y'all. So
he's just a beard. Don. He's just a beard of the show.
I'm just a beard. It's just my beard and my silhouette. I'm just getting paid for my likeness. That's it, man. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Man. You know what I mean? But Don's been holding it down, man. But listen, we got another NFL season that we're already midway through right now. We got some games coming up this week. Scrap is high. He's feeling good. Got a real nice victory last week. I can't front. That was a good win, impressive win against the Bengals. Now he's playing a lesser opponent. This is where you got to be careful with the Eagles, though. This is where they can let you down. But nevertheless, we're going to talk about it.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
We're not doing that. We're not going to do that.
Pedal to the floor the rest of the way out. Pedal to the floor, man.
Okay.
All right, well, we're going to see. We're going to see because the pedal definitely went to the floor last year around this time, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, I mean, you can always have the pedal to the floor when you don't face the Niners because, listen, we are, culture changers. We listen, once you play us, everything changes.
Well, you know what, D, since you said that, you're right, because we lose to y'all, then it seemed like every time we lose to y'all, poof, the Cowboys just start to take off. So it happened last year. We went on a nice run. Our offense got right, and we took off and went to another level. You know what I mean? So hopefully that might be the case coming in Atlanta tomorrow.
Yeah, so I think you'll get some W's. Atlanta, that's going to be a good game. Yeah, but listen, because they got their receiving core. Because I think who's not playing? Bland's not playing, right?
Deron Bland for the Cowboys? No, he's out again. No, he's still out.
Yeah.
He's still,
yeah.
I think he had a setback. He had a setback with the foot.
The whole team is a setback. But
listen, pretty much.
Right. Jerry Jones.
In the intro. Do I got to get beat up in the intro too? I can't.
You're right.
Can at least survive the intro. That's
all.
We're
saying how we doing right now.
Right.
Yeah, y'all be telling us.
Oh, we doing good, man. Everything's good. It's all love. It's all love. So much for the city of brotherly love, right? It's all love.
Right.
It's all
it's
love.
Always love, man. Always.
Yeah, man. So, man. What are we? Rod, you already know what to expect, man. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, week 9 is kicked off already, right? We had a Thursday night game that was important really for the Jets. Shout out to Rosie and Paul Smith, all the Jet fans I can think of. Amid, right? Amid's a Jet fan?
Yeah, Amid's a Jet fan.
Okay, shout out to all the Jet fans who, this is really, really important. The 3 Jet fans in the world, I gave them all a shout out. But
one for each letter.
Right. Right, pretty much. We do have to take a moment just to think about what could have been with the New York Yankees. Shout outs to the Dodgers championship, well-deserved. And anytime a team, listen, we probably wouldn't have won the series, but certainly we blew that game.
Definitely.
Certainly we blew that game.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And
that was there's way you can lose, right? And I talk always about being gracious in victory and in defeat, but losing that way is just it stains. That leaves a stain. It's unacceptable.
Yeah,
right.
It's just, Garrett Cole being lazy. You can't in those moments.
Opted out his contract, by the way. He opted out. So
see ya. See ya.
Well, we know. I mean,
no. See ya. Listen,
Cole pitched a good game, though.
He pitched a good game.
That one play, it did kill him. But it started with the errors with Judge and Volpe throwing the third. I mean, it was bad.
The Volpe one is more acceptable. It was just that play was hard to field. and then it was going to be tight to try to get it to him. To
Then
Chisholm.
he did have a good jump on the run. So yeah,
that was a tough one.
No, that Cole play, that was
Cole play is
unacceptable.
inexcusable.
That changed it. That changed it for me.
It did. Because
what are you pointing? What are you pointing to the point?
You learn that as a kid playing baseball. If the ball is away, if the ball takes the first baseman away from the bag, the pitcher must cover the bag.
Automatic.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
That's automatic. So opt out. Garrett Cole, you ain't hurting nobody's feelings. Opt out. Yeah, you did pitch well.
He's your ace, man. He's your ace.
I understand that.
And he pitched a lot. And I think, and again, I know you're gonna crack on me if I say this, but he was dominated well over his pitch count. And I think mentally, I think he just lost understanding of how hard the ball got hit and had a mental lapse. Because I really think he just got tired. He was so overpitched in that inning that he just lost his mental faculty at that moment, and then just couldn't get his body to respond to cover the base. Because I mean, everybody knows that.
So he's the Richardson of pitching. Like he's going to
tap himself out. He should have did the Richardson and tapped himself out if he can't make the next play. Like, come on, you can't do that, bro. It's the World Series.
Yeah, it's the World Series. No question.
It's everything on the line.
Yes,
and it's not like
all on the field.
I totally agree.
There is no excuse for that. We can't realistically, as good as he plays, he is only as good as his last play. And that, especially when you are playing with the stakes being this high, this is a win or go home game. But you run to the bag.
That whole loss on him in that one play. I mean,
look, I'm not putting a whole loss on him, but what I am putting, he's the pitcher.
Definitely enough blame.
Right. There's enough to go around. Even, of course, we had Judge, his era.
Judge was horrible. Even though
that was a routine pop up. That was a routine fly ball that he should have caught. Okay, then we have, but Cole, because you're pitching, the fact that he didn't play a routine play where the first baseman's off the bag, you're running to get him out at first. Mookie Betts ain't gonna slow up, right? No, so you get him out, and the inning's over.
That's over, yeah, because they already had
he had to pitch 5-1 at that time. 20 more pitches after that play.
Yeah, so taxing
it's taxing on him mentally. Yeah. And if you want to say now he's tired and he had to tap out because of that, part of that, part and parcel is because of him. He was lazy. He should have said, hey, if they take me out after this, at least we get the out and then start going to the bullpen. But the fact that you're if you have time to point, you have time to rush towards the bag. So that was unacceptable.
Definitely. I would think, oh my gosh, I was flabbergasted.
The extension of that inning, and then of course, when you give a team, the Dodgers are stacked. What do you expect? When you give those players that opportunity, they're going to take full advantage. And so it was just a horrible loss. Horrible loss.
When I coach, during the baseball season, when I'm coaching, right, I tell the players they get 3 outs for a reason. Okay. If you can give, no matter if the worst team in the world, if you give them more than 3 outs, they're going to make you pay. Yeah. So what happens is when we're in the field, if we make an error, I say 4. I say now we're giving them 4 outs, and then we do it again. That's 5. I drill it into their heads over and over again. Like 3 out every is you get 4 downs in football. 3, if you don't do nothing, then on the 4th you're going to punt. You get 3 outs in baseball. They put those there for a reason. You got to get those to get out of the inning. Like you can't. That play by Cole was unacceptable. Like if I was the manager, I would have yanked him after that. Like, come on, bro. Like, all right, yeah, I would have tapped my arm, pointed to the bullpen, tapped my right or left arm, like just bring him in. Come on.
Yeah, but then he made some bad decisions too, man. Like having Cortez pitch in game 1, that was stupid, and he should have let Weaver go a little bit more in this game when they took the 1-1 lead. He only let Weaver come in for that 1 inning and then went back and went to Canal. Canal didn't have his stuff. Now he pitched well, but Canal didn't have his stuff. He poor location. He was a mess. Looking for Judge to save him. Yeah, I mean, we just need a judge to be judged. Judge didn't need to save us. We just need a judge to be judged. Judge he doesn't show up in postseason.
Yeah, he didn't. I mean,
like yours.
We gave you a shout out in the beginning of the show, and here you come to get destroyed. Now, listen, we already gave you a shout out for being a Jet fan.
He's a Jet fan. Yeah, we're about to go to the Jets. Yeah, we talk about the Jets, right?
So let's get back to the Jets. All right, enough. The shout out to the Dodgers.
New Jersey Jets, though. You're not New York. You're New Jersey. Just cement, so you know you're New Jersey. The Giants and Jets are new. You're not a team that belongs to New York. You have a different governor. San Francisco 49ers, they don't play in San Francisco. They play in Santa Clara, but they have the same governor, okay? Dallas doesn't play in Dallas. They play in Arlington, okay? But they have the same governor. They are in the same state. The Jets and Giants are in a whole other state. I just want to make it clear that the Jets and Giants are the New Jersey Jets and Giants, not New York, okay?
Yep, I agree.
That's all I want to say.
Nah, we've been New York Jets in New Jersey. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Jets and the Texans. Okay, the Texans obviously were dealing with a lot of injuries, okay? Their number one receiver is been on IR with a hamstring. And then they lost Diggs last week.
Yeah.
And so it was only up to, really 3 players, right? Their quarterback, right? They Mixon, and of course Tank Dell.
Yeah.
And so that was it. And of course, everything was, let me say this. The NFL wants in their heart of hearts the Jets to be competitive. Not that they are going to, it's kind of like certain teams in big markets, you kind of liken them to Bronny's son. He's going to get every opportunity to be successful, even if he's trash. Right. So the Jets were afforded every opportunity possible to be successful, right? Because they were 2-6. And pretty much if they lost that in a big market, it's over. Their season is kaput. Number one, because the Bills have been so successful and all the other teams are bottom feeders in the AFC East, this was a pivotal game that they had to win. I think it was, if you're a Jet fan, it was encouraging to see that Garrett Wilson balled out. He had the, jump man catch. I do still think that Odell Beckham's was more impressive, but I think it was an amazing catch. I think Devontae Adams finally gets into the end zone. Of course, Breece Hall, the rookie. This is potentially your first touchdown, and you drop the ball going into, what is it with I want to celebrate before I actually do something, which is crazy to me. But I think the Jets, at the end of the day, the Jets won that. They're 3-6. They don't have a chance. I think other AFC teams would have to collapse in order for them to make a wild card. Because I think it's going to be really difficult. They have an uphill battle, even with Aaron Rodgers. Now, the best they can do is play spoiler and hurt some teams. But as far as them doing anything, making the playoffs, I think it's going to be tough. What do you guys say?
Go ahead, Rod.
No, I'll simply say, D, you're right. I think, you got a lot of competition in the AFC. Teams would have to collapse. They have to implode. They have to do a Philadelphia pretty much in order for anybody else to get in there. As far as the Jets are concerned. Sorry, Scrap.
And what is that? What pillage? They would have to pillage?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
He's talking about last year.
I'm talking about last year. I'm talking
about nosedive, a complete nosedive. They have to do a nosedive.
How long is we going to talk about last year, man? We done
last year is still relative until this year is over. Then we leave last year alone.
Once this year starts, last year is over. Matter of fact, once that Kansas City Chief confetti fell, last year was over as far as I'm concerned. So we
just got the reason why this year is still relative, because in order to trend data and properly present the right kind of algorithms, you need data. So
because you use big words that don't make it right.
Right.
You're going to live in color on me.
As long as you use it.
Right. You're going to live in color on me, man.
Right.
The charismatic
the effluvium
yeah, exactly.
of the emphasis surices.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
No, but I'll say, man, the Jets, look, you're right, D. Look, I think everybody wants to see the Jets competitive, though, right? I mean, I understand maybe the conspiracy element to it with the NFL, right? Because that's a big market team. You want to see them win. It's Aaron Rodgers, right? But you are kind of looking for that. I think there's a piece of if you're an NFL fan, you still felt a little cheated from last year, right? Rodgers gets hurt. You wanted to see what the Jets would do because it always felt like they was just one quarterback away, right? They had the receiver, they had the running back, they had the defense. They just did not have, and they didn't have a good old line though, but still you figure a good quarterback can somewhat overcome that. And that's what you wanted. I think people wanted to see that. I think they felt like they got cheated last year. And then this year you get into it and you thought you see a little bit more, but then you saw the rumblings with Rodgers and Saleh during the offseason and him not taking, excuse leave. And then it got a little funny there. And then next thing you know, now he's gone, Saleh that is. And now you have, Aaron Rodgers. Hall is running the ball well. I like the play caller now. I can't recall the name of the new play caller. We know it ain't Nathaniel Hackett anymore, thank God. But I think he's running the ball has been key because again, I don't think the Jets line is still that good. So they got to run the ball to keep it honest to some degree. This was still a big win for them because again, even though the Texans are hurt, Diggs is out. They're short on weaponry, but Mixon did run the ball well. Texans, I think this is a loss that could come back to maybe haunt them a little bit. It is a conference loss, so it could have some repercussions towards the end of the season. We'll see. But Rodgers is toxic. He's always been toxic since the day he came in the NFL. He's a smug. He's an arrogant. I know it all type of individual, and that's just who he is. And I like to see when Rodgers loses, but I like to see him get to the top and then fall, like how the Niners would disappoint him year after year when they would go to the NFC Championship game. So that always felt good to see.
He's smug. He's smug and has a chip on his shoulder. If you can be both, which is weird, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's smug because he's supremely talented, right? He's a great quarterback, right? Skill wise, he's not necessarily a great leader, but
no,
I don't think you have to be a great leader to be great. Okay, and we're not going to go on that whole, ride tangent about that rabbit hole about that. But you can be great without being a great leader. And so he has proven the 4 MVPs let you know that he's a great player. I think that's where his smugness comes in. But deep down, he has a high insecurity because of the fact that the team that he was expecting, remember, he dropped in drafts, right? And the team that he really wanted to go to happened to be the 49ers. They didn't want him. So I think that keeps a chip on his shoulder, and it's a constant battle between his smugness, knowing how great he is, and the fact that he's a little insecure because his greatness hasn't equaled the hardware at the end of the day, right? Because based on the quarterbacks that have more hardware, he's immensely more talented, I think, in totality.
I agree with that. Like Dan Marino, immensely talented, no rings, right? But he's way more talented than a lot of quarterbacks that won in his era.
Oh, and arguably, you can say he is more talented than Tom Brady. Arguably,
he is. I don't even think that's an argument.
Mobile, arm strength, you name it. Yeah. But he's not the leader, right? And so those things matter when it all boils down to that matters. So I think part of it is he's going through that type of internal battle, if you will. But the Jets got the W. It happened on Halloween, and there was a record. He has played the Jets when he was, I think, with the Packers on Halloween before, and so he's 2-0 playing Halloween at the Meadowlands. So shout outs to them. I don't think it's going to impact the Texans because they're going to get Nico Collins back, and that's big. He was, prior to his injury, was the number 1 receiver in the league. So he balls out. I think him and Stroud have beautiful chemistry. So I think between Mixon running the ball, having your number one receiver back, also having Tank Dell. Let's not forget, last year before Tank Dell got hurt, he was balling out. They had great chemistry also. So I think the Texans, could they use a pass rush? Yeah. Could they use, they had some defensive players that were dealing with injuries during the game. And I think that, allowed, and I think they need some offensive line help because unfortunately, Stroud got sacked 7 or 8 times in that game, which is complete. 8 times. Unacceptable. So you got to protect your asset, right? And so I think that that's going to be important. But if you give him time, as we know, you give an NFL quarterback time, they will light most teams up. Exactly. And so, they took that L. But I think the Texans are well positioned in their division to win that. I don't see anyone coming out of the clear blue and usurping them in that division. So I think they're going to be fine with that. So let's talk about, if you guys don't have anything else, let's talk about the Cowboys, right? Because the 49ers, who handled business last week against the Cowboys, I'll segue it that way. We handled business against the Cowboys. We went into our bye a 500 team with help on the way. As
congratulations.
Yeah, that's cool. Listen, no problem. Help's on the way. As T.I. would say, help on the way. Help's on the way. So we got help coming, and we'll be okay. I think CMC, no setbacks. He right now is cutting and juking as we speak. They're going to be perfectly fine. I think our receivers, we got a little extra time to get them locked in with Brock Purdy. We'll be okay. But the Cowboys play a team that has been up and down. They've been balling out. Atlanta's balled out against Tampa Bay. I think Kirk Cousins has 8 touchdowns to 1 interception against one team. And so will that translate to them playing the Cowboys? Now, Deron Bland is not playing. I just saw on X that they elevated, what's the dude's name again? Dalvin Cook again. Why'd you take him back down? Why? What is the elevation again?
The double elevation.
This is the year of elevate. Elevation is this year. It should have happened already. Elevate him and keep him up there. I don't get the whole what are you trying to prove? You need running back help, and
the worst
you need it in the worst way. So I don't understand. Get him acclimated with the number ones and try to get them, at least some balance. Now, I do think this is going to be an interesting game because if there's no pressure on Kirk Cousins, we already know historically what he does if he has time. This is not a primetime game. He does have Drake London, right? We know their run game, but they have the pieces to be highly successful. They got Mooney. Of course, they have, their running back is balling out if they utilize him the way they really should. If they utilize him the right way, they got Kyle Pitts. They got a good tight end. So you guys could be in some serious trouble, but I do like the Cowboys. I won't give my score yet, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. What's that? What, you all right?
No,
indigestion?
I'll just give you my best impersonation of our run game, which is nothing. So saying nothing is an indication of what we'll probably look like in our run game. Look, we're dead last against the run. We're dead last in running the ball. And
that's
no matter what hope we have, there is none. If you can't at least to some degree, even on some form of mediocrity, run the football a little bit, right? You really don't stand a chance. Not in today's league. Once you become one-dimensional, and I mean a really, really true one-dimensional team like what the Dallas Cowboys are, then you really just don't stand a chance. And McCarthy, he's a panic type of caller. He's not a guy that kind of feels the game out and can methodically, implement plays based on matchups and what he sees going on. He doesn't know how to do that. Maybe he did at one point. Apparently he did, but he had a great quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. I'm not taking away from him as a coach. I think overall for his career, McCarthy's been a really good coach. He's a good coach. He's not a bad coach. He's not a horrible coach. He's a good coach. But But with today's game and this team that you have, you just don't have it. And you know, the Falcons, I think, again, for Dallas to win this game,
your
Falcons
screen blurred out. Are you trying to hide your identity already before the game has been won or lost?
Oh, wait, hold on, my bad. Okay,
you forgot to change your voice too, right?
Oh, man, yeah.
Voice.
Yeah.
Right. We got an opportunity.
Yeah.
right. I'm a witness protection program. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm just saying basically that unless Atlanta does Atlanta things, which they have the propensity to do, like you said, Donald, this is a team that's up and down. You know, they took a bad beat down in Atlanta against Seattle, right? And then, you know, they come back to get a win against Tampa Bay on the road. It's a team that, you know, we could do something with. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback when he has time, right? Scrap, you know that all too well. And it's like he is a quarterback that can beat you. And, you know, Bijan hasn't really impressed to that degree, but he can still run the ball, right? I mean, they're 15th in the league in rushing, so they can still move the ball. They're in the middle of the pack. They're not a bad rushing team. They can still do some things, but they don't rush the quarterback well. They only got 6.5 sacks, you know, on the season. So this is a team that they get a lot of pressures, but they can't get the quarterback to the ground. So in that sense, you say, well, Dallas might have a chance if we can do something. But again, we don't know how to do that. See, the problem is with the Cowboys, if even without a pass rush, you're again, and I hate fellas saying this and being a broken record, but again, we're anemic offensively. We can't innovate. We don't know how to take advantage of matchups. We can't scheme guys open. So it doesn't matter. Dak could have all day to throw. He's not going to run because he just stopped. He just decided in himself, I'm not running the ball anymore. So either I'm going to get sacked, I'm going to throw it away, I'm going to throw an interception, or I'll make a completion. So it's one of those 4 options. So at the end of the day, if you don't have anything to counter a team's weakness, then what good is it for a team or to even note that there's a weakness on the team? If you can't exploit it, you don't know how to take advantage of it, what's the purpose of it? And that's what you're going to have. Really, and that's what you're going to get against Atlanta tomorrow. I don't think Dallas is going to prevail. Again, we can't run. Our defense is horrible, and we still got key guys out, and Diggs is questionable, but I think he'll play. But again, you know, it's just we just don't have it, guys. I'm sorry to say, our safety play is bad. Wilson is bad. Hooker is bad. Those safeties we got back there are horrendous. They are really bad, and so you just don't have the pass rush. I mean, Iggy gets in there. He can get a little rush every now and then, but outside of that, guys, we don't have nothing. Kirk Cousins is going to have a field day, and Bijan, trust me, he's going to rush over 100. He's going to have a pretty good day, you know. So yeah, that's what I say. So
oh my God, Rod, man, it's just listening to you talk about your team, man. I'm just hearing, you know, the sad music from the Hawk. It's like blue, 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 blue. It's so
David
sad,
walking
man.
lonely on the road,
Yeah, with your head down, man, just kicking rocks and stuff, man. This is oh my God. I mean, I'm enjoying it, but it's just sad to see, man. It's just sad to see, man. Yeah, I mean, what I want to do, right? I want to first of all commend you on, you know, still trying to have high quality what's ups. I mean, but I feel the pain. But I see you trying to work through it, man.
It's not easy.
You know, yeah, I mean, listen, man, you're trying to work through it. We commend you on the what ups, but
appreciate my brothers, man. Appreciate my brothers. Thank y'all.
I feel like y'all really should win this game, even though everything that you pointed out is true. You still got to play the game. I think that the Falcons got a lot of young players minus the quarterback, so they're going to make mistakes and give you opportunities to win. Now, if y'all don't do like us and actually take the game when they give it to you, that remains to be seen. But it's going to be there for y'all to have. You know, even though y'all running game is horrible, you still got to run the ball. That keeps the defense honest. You know, that makes them play up, and maybe you can get some of those. Well, maybe you can get your receiver in space against their whoever they put across from
Terrell and AJ Terrell will be on him tomorrow on Lamb.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, CD is still, a problem to cover. Like he's an excellent receiver, excellent route runner. It's just him and Dak for some reason don't seem like they've been on the same page.
You know, Scrap, thank you for saying that, man. I feel thank you. That really encouraged. That really lifted me up. And I promise I'm not going to use that lift up in any prideful way. I'm still humble But thank you for saying that, man.
Hey, man, I call it like
man.
I said, man. I call it
Appreciate
like
that,
I
man.
said,
Thank
man.
you.
I
Thank
call
you.
it like I said. So, like I said, there will be opportunities. Now, will you guys capitalize on them? Probably not. Do I want to see you guys capitalize on them? I actually do, because I picked y'all in the pool this week, and I haven't won the money pool yet this season. So yeah, I would like to win tomorrow. So I picked you guys to win. Hopefully you guys show up and do what we think you could do, but we probably know that y'all not going to do. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
even with all the people out on defense, y'all still got a chance to win. Because at the end of the day, they're still the Falcons, and that's still Kirk Cousins. And like I said, like you were saying, like y'all got to get to the quarterback. I mean, I know y'all got a lot of people out. Y'all got to get to them. Like when y'all get there, when y'all get home, y'all got to take them down. Like y'all can't get on the doorstep and don't knock on the door. You see what I'm saying? Like
Right.
y'all got to finish plays. Y'all got to finish plays. Don't do a Garrett Cole and then just point like, hey, he's over there. Somebody else do it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Cole.
But yeah, I don't want y'all to win, but I actually do like y'all tomorrow to win the game. So,
all right, let's get some scores.
All right, since I was the one talking, I'm gonna say we're playing in Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm gonna say Cowboys 27, Atlanta 24. I think it's gonna be a close game. 27-24. Cowboys.
Wow. No, wow. Yeah, I appreciate again the kind words, Scrap. Then y'all got Brandon Aubrey on your fantasy. Do y'all pick kickers in fantasy?
He went first in our league.
He's the best player on your team.
Yeah,
yeah. That's why I'm asking. I just want to make sure y'all were at least had your fantasy covered at least. Yeah, I think. Man, let me see. Because I was shocked to even know that we scored 3 touchdowns even against the 49ers. But again, they were.
Wait, whoa, hold on. Listen.
No. I'm saying, but y'all had half
the score. Right, just get to the score. Because we were. Listen.
Here we go.
Right.
I'm just trying to process the score. Like I'm trying to think about last week.
Right. Don't think about last week. Don't think about last week, Rod. Listen, when you guys
y'all were at half strength, so those 3 touchdowns don't mean anything. In other words,
we were at half strength, and then we were playing prevent D to make it look good.
I know that's what I'm saying.
Make it look good.
Here we go. This is what we was waiting on.
I don't want to pick a score that's reflective of what we thought we were capable of doing last week, because that was a mirage. Because again, the Niners were at half strength. So scoring 3 touchdowns, I don't want to think we're going to do that again this week. That's the only reason I'm just kind of talking it out. You know what I mean? I'm speaking. I really like talking to myself to try to figure out how I'm gonna adjust this score I'm trying to project right now. But I feel that it's going to be probably like maybe 32-16 Falcons. It's going to be a blowout.
Oh, so you're not picking your team to win?
Of course not.
Oh no, you didn't hear his whole breakdown.
You didn't. Don wasn't listening.
No, I was listening. I was listening, but you don't think
no.
Your season is on the line for this.
See how bad we are.
No, I know. Listen, I know how bad you are.
We see how bad you are.
We see
that.
Yeah. I got glasses for a reason. But what I'm saying is,
Wonder can see how bad you guys are.
Your season is on the line. Where is the gumption? Where is the intestinal fortitude to say we got to get a W?
Season on the line. We was in the playoffs the 3 seasons in a row. Did that matter then? With seasons on the line,
no.
Dallas last year.
Listen.
Seasons on the line. We went into 40. It went into San Francisco the year before that, and when y'all came to us the year before that. So what do you mean the season's on the line?
Those are insurmountable odds. I'm talking about. You have your season is still in front of you, and you have an opportunity for this game, pull your team. Your team has the opportunity to pull itself up, because it's only Kirk Cousins at the end of the day.
But Kirk Cousins is still a formidable quarterback. D, can I share something with you?
I understand that.
The 3 wins that we
as
got
the
this
Jets
year
are too, Rosie. As the Jets also.
Our 3 wins came from teams that have bad quarterback play. Justin Fields, Deshaun Watson, And then we ended up who did we beat? Who's like even the third team now? Jesus. That we ended it was Justin Fields, Deshaun, and Daniel Jones. So if the Cowboys are up against a team that is slightly inferior, then yeah. But I don't think that's the Falcons right now. I do think the Falcons are playing good football. They can be consistent and they can be the Falcons, but they do have a better quarterback. Now, we were playing, Riddler or somebody from last year, then yeah, maybe I would say we'd win because their quarterback play is not good. Dallas cannot beat a really good team that's sound defensively, running game. They got a little bit of a good package and a good quarterback. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. He's going to shred that defense, and they can run the ball. So, no, there's no way I could pick that team to win. It's on the line, the season. There was no rah-rah speeches coming through here. You got Rico Dowdle and Zeke in your backfield. Ain't no rah-rah speech going to help that. It is. They are who they are.
Stay focused, Rosie. Rosie, stay focused, man. Stay focused on your 3-6. Stay focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rosie's actually right. But 32-16 Falcons.
Okay. I think so. Let me be the voice of reason. The Cowboys are going to win this game, and they're going to win it convincingly. And for me to say this, no. They're going to win it convincingly. Let me explain why. The Falcons do not utilize their running back. The things that they don't utilize Tyler Algier and Bijan to their detriment. If they use those running backs, they would blow them out to 32-16 and all of that stuff. I do think that because Atlanta is going to play into the hands of the Cowboys, they will allow the Cowboys to not only stay in this game, but late down the stretch, pull away. And I do like the Cowboys to win this game 31-20. I like the Cowboys to win 31-20. I do think this is a get-right game for them. I do think that, the other shoe is going to drop. I think that Kirk Cousins is going to turn into a pumpkin. I think the rabbit foot is going to fall out. Whatever you want to say, every cliche, I think the Cowboys, their season is on the line. I think they're going to be the more desperate team. I think everybody is focusing on how well Atlanta looked in 2 games, but they played 2 games really well against Tampa Bay. That's where most of Kirk Cousins, 8 of his touchdowns came against Tampa Bay. Against the other teams, they look a little bit pedestrian. So I do like the Cowboys because they're a big market team. So if they lose, clearly their season is over. And diehard fans or casual fans will start to kind of, it's not our year. And that's not good for the NFL. So they are going to win this game. They're going to win convincingly and have people with that hope that springs eternal, that they have a shot to actually do something down the stretch. Because outside of really Washington, the division, because this is the other thing you have to look at, and we'll move on. Your divisional games haven't really taken place yet. That's why there is still an opportunity, right? Yeah. So this is where you make up a lot of ground in your division, because the first thing, as I always say, you got to win your division first.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the playoffs. Win your division if you can, and then try to go from there. I'm not saying that you will.
We're barely a better team than the Giants. Barely. We're not that much even better than the Giants, if you really think about it. The Giants are depleted of offensive weapons, and so are Dallas. Outside of Neighbors and CeeDee Lamb, you don't really have anybody else. The Giants got even a better running game than us, and they have a better front four, and they're better against the run. We're not on the level with the Eagles. And again, the Eagles, when the Eagles lose, it's because they do things that is straight buffoonery. Something
we beat ourselves. You can say it. We beat ourselves.
They do. Yeah, they'll beat themselves like they did against Atlanta. That 4th and 1 play and going out to the flat with Saquon and dropping the ball when all they do is clearly just push their way into the end zone from that 10-yard line if they wanted to do that, right? It's like they know their superpowers, but they won't use them.
So after that was a third down play. That was a third down play.
That's a third, right? Yes, it was a third. I'm sorry, third down play. I ended up kicking a field goal, right? So I'm saying we gotta be. See, America. I'm a realist. We gonna go on. We gonna move on this, and we can talk. Because I know we gonna talk about the Eagles and Jags. I'm a realist. I mean, I've been a fan since 77, I have intricately watched the Cowboys since 81. That's when I was old enough to cerebrally absorb and make some intelligent decisions of what I was looking at. And I've watched this team, and I know when this team is good enough, when this team has enough to make a stand or be competitive. And then I just know when this team is bad. And this is not a good team. Jerry thought he had a team coming in here, and you did not. The defense was horrible. And then you hired Mike. I'm not going to go on a diatribe. I'm going to pull it back. I'm pull it back because I can feel myself going there.
You turning red too, right?
I'm turning red too. You got to be realistic, man. I'm a realistic Cowboy fan, and I know what I know. I see what I see. I know this team. I listen. Of course, we all follow our team, local radio and insiders and so forth. And I'm telling you, man, this team is bad. And look at Diggs, right? Getting all upset, and they get so sensitive about.
He patched it up, though. He patched it up with the.
He patched it up, but I mean, but I'm saying, bro, like really. Like, even though I don't blame him on that play that was called out, I did think that was a little nitpicking there. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying, like, they don't like it. But the overall culture in the Cowboys locker room, they got an issue with the Dallas media. They don't like when they get called out. And that's just the problem. Then it starts with what? You see your owner getting all offensive when he gets called out. Now the players feel like they can feel that way. And the truth is, you're not all that. Why can't we call you out? You're trading like you sitting at 5-2 or 6-1. You 3-4, bro. So what do you want us to give you glowing platitudes of how great of a team you are and what you do? No, Dak is playing horrible, and not all his fault, but he's not playing good. You got a lame duck coach in there. You got a dinosaur prehistoric defensive coordinator in there. You got players that are just not good. So what are you going to do? Like, you don't have anything there. And you got anemic offense. They can't do anything, D. This team is bad. And again, Dallas would have gotten the brakes beaten off them if it wasn't for the 3 holding penalties last week again 49ers. Y'all had touchdowns that were called back because of that. So like I said, it's bad. We're bad. And the Falcons, they're going to make a lot of noise. Listen, it pains me to say this. I don't want to say that the Falcons are going to win. You think it gives me pleasure to say that the Falcons will win 32-16? And I'm right now in the interim trying to decide whether I want to be in the stadium to watch this travesty. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a Cowboy fan. I love my Cowboys. But I got to be real, man. It's going to be bad, bro. It's not going to be good. We're not a good team. So the rah-rah, you can still win the division. It's a path to success.
No. That's not what I'm saying. You won't win the division.
No.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying you're saying there's a possibility like we should be.
No, it's no possibility.
No, I'm not saying that either.
So then what's the rah-rah speech for then?
I'm saying that.
I'm trying to uplift you, right?
No, I'm not even trying to uplift him. What I'm trying to tell, I'm not trying to uplift anybody. What I'm trying to do is explain to him that the NFL is a business. And they're not in the business of having a huge market team, let you tell it. Whether you hate the Cowboys or love them, you got to talk about them. They're not in the business in week 9 to have them mathematically eliminated. So something is going to happen. Now, I think Atlanta has a little more fat in their schedule and in their success to take an L. And the Cowboys, for the sake of the NFL, the sake of I think they have an opportunity, just like the Jets. If the Jets would have went to 2-7, it was a wrap, right? So the fact that they win 3-6, it gives a large fan base, hope, right? And that's what it's all about. You're a realist, and your season's over. But for the casual fan that's watching,
I'm gonna say
they want to give hope.
If the Cowboys go 3-14, we will still dominate the sports shows. National media, we will still dominate. In laughter. But it doesn't matter. But that's laughter. Jerry will tell you, any publicity, good or bad, is good publicity. It's good for the team. They're talking about Dallas. Why do you think he waited to sign CD and Dak? Because if he signed them early, then you have what are we going to talk about, right? I mean, there's nothing to talk about. That dominated headlines in the offseason. Signing CD, signing Dak. He waits right before the kickoff to sign them both. So that's all part of Jerry's idea of promoting the team. Dallas can lose the rest of the way out, and they're going to be talking about us, how bad we are, how horrible we are, but it's still ratings. They're going to open the shows up from First Take to First Things First and any other shows that you watching, it's all going to be Dallas dominated. So we don't need wins or losses. We don't need wins we're not the Jets. The Jets will fall into obscurity if they lose and get into a situation where they're just mathematically eliminated. Dallas can be mathematically eliminated, and they're still going to talk about the Cowboys because we make news. We're the Dallas Cowboys. That's just what it is. That's what Jerry built. That's what he designed. So we lose, we still get talked about. This has all been put together by his mastermind to build, and I keep telling you, a business. The Cowboys are not a football team. We are an entity. We are an economic machine. That's what we are. That's what's most important to Jerry, and that's what we have. So, yeah. All right. I'm done.
We'll agree to disagree. I have the Cowboys winning convincingly. Scrap has the Cowboys winning in a close one, and you have the Cowboys, as our resident Cowboy fan, getting the brakes beat off.
We're get the brakes beat off because we playing a better quarterback.
Give them the brakes. Now, when they win next week, I don't want to hear the air that is not in your lungs should stay out of your lungs. I don't want you getting hyped because we are going to.
I won't get hyped.
Do not get hyped.
I won't get hyped. I'm gonna say I was shocked that we won. I didn't think we were a better team. And Dallas got a victory. That's it. I'm gonna be very low key, very humble, very nonchalant, and kind of mundane in my delivery. So
we back. There won't be
we back. We them boys and all that.
Okay, good. I don't want to hear none of them. We them boys.
No.
All right, let's talk about teams then. Since we are segueing from a economy within an economy, let's talk about Miami and the Bills. Now, Miami. Tua is 1-7 against the Bills.
He has a very complicated relationship with the Dolphins.
Tua is 1-7 against the Bills. I am putting the Bills on upset alert. Upset alert. The Bills will lose this game. And the game is in Buffalo. So it's going to be colder than 70 degrees.
It's 56. Can be 56 tomorrow.
Tua's knees is knocking as we speak. But I think they will be able to win this game.
Really?
I think it will. Because let me tell you, think about this. When you look at the AFC East and you see how far ahead Buffalo is than those other teams, something has to give. Think about it. Miami. Listen. Okay. This is my upset alert. And let me add this to it also, just so we know. Wait, did it come up?
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. Yeah. Shout out to Kiara on that. She rocked that. That was good.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Buffalo will lose tomorrow. Miami is going to upset them. 100%. Thank you, Rosie. I thank you for agreeing with me. Tua in his return didn't look great, didn't look bad, but the team had some juice, right? And so think about this. You got the Patriots. You already had 20 years of dominance. We don't care about you. But you got the Jets, you got Miami, and you got Buffalo. If you think that Buffalo is going to run away with the AFC East and those other teams aren't going to even challenge for the AFC title, you're fooling yourself. Trust and believe.
For the AFC title or AFC East title?
AFC East title. East title. Those teams are right now. Buffalo has what, a 4-game lead, a 3-game lead on all of those teams, at least?
Yeah, a 4-game lead.
Ain't no way.
Miami's sitting in third, Jets in second.
Book it. Miami is going to upset Buffalo tomorrow. I like Buffalo as a team. I think Amari Cooper is dealing with an injury, a wrist injury. He's questionable. Of course, you have the real cook, the only cook that matters in the backfield. He's been balling out. Of course, you have Keon Coleman as the receiver. You have Josh Allen has been balling out. But I think Josh Allen, who has been protecting the ball for the most part, I think he went with like 12 touchdowns, 1 interception, something like that. He's been balling out. I think he comes back to earth. I think he may start trying to get away from the run where he's not the main runner. I think he's going to try to do some Superman stuff. And don't sleep. Miami has a decent defense. It's just been the quarterback play that's been trash that has hurt them. But this is an opportunity for Miami to get back in it. And if Tua can prove himself that he's a quarterback, this is the opportunity for Tua to prove that Flores was wrong. And if Tua cannot win in this situation, Flores is right. Their season is over, and Flores is right. I think Tua coming back, he has a lot of pressure on him. People were saying he should have retired. His record against Buffalo, we understand that the playoffs and getting deep in the playoffs, it's going to be below 70. We know that they're not going to win the division. We know that the AFC playoffs is not going to go through Miami. So he's going to have to win in the cold. And this is his first opportunity to get a meaningful season-saving win. And I think Tua and the Miami Dolphins are going to get it. That's my prediction. That's my upset prediction of the week. Miami will beat Buffalo. What do you guys say?
I agree with you. I agree with you, D. I was going to say the same thing because I didn't really chime in on the Jets, but I was going to say, like, the way we could tell how this is set up is by what Buffalo does tomorrow. And I saw they're playing Miami. I said, oh, this is an upset waiting to happen, because for all, intents and purposes, if Buffalo winning this game tomorrow is the equivalent of them, signaling and jumping in the left lane, just taking off from there. Like you said, it's not beneficial for the NFL for them to just run away with the division this early. Like, what is it, week 9? Yeah. And the division is going to be decided already? Absolutely not. So, yeah, I'm not going to go all deep into it because you pretty much, summed it up. But I think the Bills are going to lose tomorrow, and I think it's going to be a close one. But I think, the Dolphins is going to pull the game out. Maybe on a last drive, to win it, either with a field goal or a touchdown. But I think the Bills do lose tomorrow. And, everything that you pretty much said was, pretty much on point. You hit the nail right on the head. Like, the NFL is not in the business of having whole fan bases, not tuning in, because the Jet, even though, we don't know many, the Jets do have a large fan base because it's New York, New Jersey. So it's it's a big market. So, yeah, you lose a whole New York, fan base if they lose. So, yeah, I like the Dolphins tomorrow. Yeah, I even picked them in both pools, even with the points and the flat out win. So yeah, I like the Dolphins to win tomorrow. Yeah, I like them to win tomorrow because this is all too perfect for the Bills to have an upset, and every team has them during the season. So who says the Bills can't? And what's the Bills record? What, they only lost one game, right?
Yeah, they're 6-2.
6-2.
Oh, yeah, they got room to lose. Yeah, definitely got room to lose.
Yeah, they got wiggle.
What was the Texans' record? 6-2. Yeah, you got room to lose.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what they call a scheduled loss, an acceptable loss, as Rob would like to put it. Yeah, it's an acceptable loss. Acceptable. Yeah, I like Miami tomorrow, big time. So tell your brother Rod to go ahead and put the house on the put the house on his team, man. He can bet with his heart tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not going to. He was at last week's game in Miami. He went down there for Dolo too. Went down there to see
to watch that L.
To watch that L, yeah, bad.
But it was a close one. It was a close one. At least there was some juice, right? At least the team it felt better.
They did feel better. But let me ask you a question, OD, in relationship to what you and Scrap are saying about this potential upset, that could be somewhat, machinated somehow. But if they're 6.5 favorite, so how does your theory coincide with the spread, though? I mean, that's a 6.5 spread. That's pretty big. So
it's not big. Not
you
not
automatically
big
get 3 for being a home team. You automatically get 3, right?
Yeah.
You automatically get a field goal, and then they just saying that they're going to be 2 field goals better tomorrow. They technically saying it's a field goal game.
Yeah, and they're not better. It's and this is the other thing. It's not a huge that under 7 is under a touchdown is not a huge spread. First of all, Tua's record is 1-7 against them, so they realize that it's going to be. We know what Tua's record is above 70 degrees. And what his record is below 70 degrees. We also realize he has a propensity to get concussions. You have a lot of stuff that you're factoring into that spread. At the same time, you're understanding that, okay, they're playing on the road. How does Miami play on the road? All of that stuff is factored in. So it skews, the people in the desert skew it a certain way. So people, casual football fans and people that are observing or people that want to wager are looking at it a certain way. You have to look at it as bottom line. If this team loses, they are almost mathematically, because then you would have to suggest that the Bills, who would now have 5 games on the closest person in their division, would have to start losing games. You get what I'm saying? So it is easier with only 7 or 8 games left in the season for that distance to be, shrunk during, divisional games, which they always say their excuse is, well, divisional games are always tough. So it doesn't matter if a team's a bottom feeder, they still always find a reason, i.e. the Ravens losing to Cleveland. Bottom feeder was playing, Jameis Winston, they got juice. They were able to beat the Ravens because the Ravens looked like, hey, unbeatable. They're running away with the division. So there is a way that it always, gives an opportunity for market teams, whether they're big or small, to feel like their fan base, they're still involved in it. So with Miami, and think about it, Miami's an exciting team, right? Think of the players on their team, polarizing players. Tua with his concussions, Tyreek Hill running 40 miles an hour, the coach who used to be married to Jennifer Lopez. All of this stuff is super exciting for the fan base, right? So you think about that. You don't want that team to be eliminated. You want them to be in it. And that's the reason that years ago, they made the last game of every of the season to be a divisional game, because they want that to matter. And if teams run away with it in week 9, those games won't even matter. People won't even tune them in. So it's a big picture thing.
Let me read this to you guys, though, real very fast. And then also breaking news, by the way. Zeke's not playing. He didn't even make the team flight. They benched him or whatever for disciplinary reasons. So he's being dealt with for disciplinary reasons. So he won't even be at the game.
Doing?
That just can't.
He hasn't been on a lot of flights, though. He hasn't. Yeah. He's been there, and
he's been grounded all season.
Yeah, man. Yeah, pretty much. But let me. Yeah. Greg Rousseau, am I pronouncing his name right? I'm not sure if I am or not. So he's the edge rusher for the Bills. So what he was saying was that he says there's like 2 opponents we're fighting on Sunday, the Dolphins, obviously, and then complacency. So, and I'm just reading this only because it kind of ties into what you guys are saying. So he said that, with a 4-game lead, it's that's cool. But he said, but I'd say the biggest thing that comes with being up 4 wins is being able to battle complacency. You never know. We haven't clinched anything. And then Rasul Douglas said, the cornerback for the Bills, he basically, in this sarcastic way said, we got a 4-win lead versus who? Like, in other words, that means nothing to us. We gotta keep we gotta keep this thing going. So I guess you guys are implying that this is going to be something that the refs are going to play a role in terms of the Bills winning. The Bills are coming in with a mindset like, yo, we got to win this game. We got to make this a 4 to a 5-game lead now in our division. And y'all say otherwise that you.
Those are dependent positions, though, in the grand scheme of things. What is the person saying who has the ball in their hands every play? That's number 1. Number 2, what is the coach saying? That's what matters. Listen. A running back, a cornerback who is waiting for something to come to him.
Waiting for something to happen, yep.
It don't matter. It doesn't matter to me. What up, James?
Oh, James. Come on, James. Don't let the first comment be such.
What's up,
James?
It's
like you sound a little salty there about the Niners. You know what I mean?
So we doing, what's the score for this game?
The 49ers suspend
the scores for this game.
Making political statement. We're going to talk about that, Rosie. And
no, we haven't got to that yet. We are.
And you know what? We didn't talk about and did they suspend Aaron Rodgers for lying about being vaccinated, Rosie? Don't go there, all right? Don't go there with us, all right? No, we're going to talk about it. We did have every plan on talking about that. All right, but let's get a score for Buffalo and Miami.
I got Buffalo winning. I think Buffalo's going to win. I got Buffalo winning 33-20. It's going to be a blowout. The Dolphins.
You said 33-20?
33-20.
Okay. Whenever Rod says a team is going to win by 33, you pick the other team. Whenever he says 33, pick the other team.
I had y'all winning 33. You almost had 33 points last week.
I like Miami 28-24.
28-24 Miami. I think Miami wins, and I think Miami puts up some points. They have to look, make it look good. I think Miami is going to win 28-17. 28-17.
So still 28. All right, cool.
28-17.
All right.
What does he say? Why would they? Bosa is known to be pro-Trump. Stop being soft. All right, we're going to get to that in just a second. But
we're going to touch on it. Yeah.
Okay, so two of us have Miami. One of us has Buffalo. Let's talk about last game on the docket. The Eagles are playing the Jags. Now, if we're honest with ourselves, Trevor Lawrence is a bust. Okay, let's listen. What he was in college, it did not translate. Right? He's like a Matt Leinart, right? Balled out in college, got to the pros, not
balled
so much.
Out, then stalled out.
You got we think about Christian Laettner was great in college basketball, got to the pros, didn't translate. I mean, there are a lot of times where players, they look really good, they look like world beaters, and then when they get to the pro level, not so much. And so the Jags are dealing with some injuries, okay? You had Christian Kirk done for the season, broken collarbone. Luckily, unfortunately, they have Evan Ingram, who I think is going to he's going to ball out tomorrow. He's going to have a game.
But you have no ball outs tomorrow by the Jaguars. Sorry to
Okay.
There will be no balling out.
Okay. Ingram is going to have, let me just give a quick prediction. Ingram is going to have probably 7 catches, over 100 yards in the TD.
7 catches, 24 yards.
Okay. You say so. Because let me tell you this. Scrap is not really, in a lot of ways, Scrap is one of those. He's a Eagles fan that kind of mirrors how Cowboy fans think it's always their year. Like they can't lose.
Boy.
And I don't think that the Eagles will lose this game. But to think that a team is not going to be able to put up points against you guys, or the receiver, their primary receiver. Now, think about this. Reflecting really quickly on the Jets game, Tank Dell and Mixon were the only game in town. They knew those other receivers, Minchie and Hutchinson, and all, they were unknown. There was no chemistry. So they had, with, the Jets having a really good defense, they could have clamped down on Tank Dell. What did Tank Dell do? 130 yards, a touchdown, and 7 or 8 catches. So I say all that to say, just because you know that a team is limited in what they can do. Now, they do have ETN. They do have.
Is he even playing?
I think he is. And they do have Tank Bigsby. So you probably would want ETN more than
not
Bigsby.
Tank Bigsby.
Okay. All right. Let me guess. Before I even get to passing you what the score is, it's going to be a 47-6 game, right? Something ridiculous. Like, they are NFL teams at the end of the day. And so I do think that the Eagles will win.
I feel attacked.
But at the same time, certain players are going to have a game, right? And I think Evan Ingram is going to have a game. Remember that I said this. He's going to have a game.
7 catches is a good game.
And 100 yards and a touchdown. Get the whole
yards.
stat. Get the whole stat together.
24 yards.
But it's just like anything else. Trevor Lawrence is a bust.
I won't say he's a bust, though, D.
I think he's a bust. He's a bust.
Actually, his numbers are really good this year. He's actually playing really good football this year.
Is it equating to wins?
The last 4 games, he's
how many did he win?
Huh? Well,
how many did he win?
It's a team.
One,
it's
right?
Not, but I mean, the team isn't good. And Peterson has been a bad coach for all intents and purposes. They're just not a good team. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak to the intricacies of why they're not succeeding. But I mean, but if you just look on record, with the stats, I mean, Trevor's been balling. Even in the last 4 games, 72% of his passes over the last 4 weeks for 1,100 yards, 7 TDs and 3 interceptions, and he's on the trajectory to have a good season this year. He's projected to throw. Right now, he's got 1,800 yards, 62% of his passes he's completing, 11 TDs, 4 interceptions. Look
at that.
93% QBR rating. I mean, that's not. I mean, 93 QBR rating.
For 50,
that's not bad. I mean, he's not a bust.
So you think that he is? Well, number one, it's a small market. So yeah, he's shining a little bit. They're appreciative because he's in a small market. Do you think that he is justified at making $55 million based on those stats?
Well, the way the market is set, I mean, the way quarterbacks are getting paid, the way I would say so. Okay. I mean, you know,
spoken like a Cowboys fan.
Spoken like a 47 touchdowns.
Spoken like a true Cowboys fan.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, you know, is Dak worth the $60 million that he's getting? I mean, I don't know. Dak got an MVP year last year, but I mean, you know,
it's
not all attributed to him. But I think he's what did he get? 55 million? You said?
Time out. I think he got 55. 50. He's at.
He had a what year? He had a what year last year, Rod?
He was second runner-up in the MVP voting. Dak behind Lamar.
Second runner-up, or so that means he was third, or he was right behind.
He was behind Lamar.
He was runner-up for MVP.
For MVP.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, okay. All right, well,
yeah.
We'll do that again. Let's get some balloons going for Dak.
I forgot how to get the balloons back.
You put up the peace sign.
Yeah, that's what I did, man. Let me see.
Yeah. Let me get some balloons for Dak.
Get some balloons for Dak. Yeah, we don't give balloons out for that. Hey, look at that! You made confetti fall.
I want some confetti. I mean, I can't get it any other way.
Oh, look at you!
Yeah, that's my cowboy confetti right there. Y'all welcome to it.
Fireworks and everything. You probably didn't even see that because you was looking down. You had fireworks going.
Yeah, I had fireworks. Yeah, I got all those stuff. You know, we got hearts. We got rain. That's when it's bad. That's what I'm under.
Dakota rain.
Dakota rain.
That's the Dakota rain, Prescott.
But
that's what I'm gonna be doing when I talk about Dak.
Game tomorrow, right?
Right here.
All right. What do you say, Scrap? Let's hear the score. Let's see.
What do you say, Scrap?
What do you think? How the game's gonna play?
Oh man, I think that it's gonna be a heavy, backup game. I think Kenny Gainwell's going to get a lot of playing time. I don't think we're going to use Saquon that much tomorrow, unless we get in trouble. But I mean, you already know what we're going to do. I've been using this word all season. I'm ready to get a shirt with it on there that says pillage. We're going to pillage tomorrow, man. We're going to pillage their village. And listen. I don't understand why Don picks these random dudes that have field days against us, man, like to ball out. But there will be no ball outs by any Jaguar players tomorrow, Don.
Okay.
I'm telling you that. And I'm trying to tell you in the calmest voice that I possibly can. There will be no ball outs by anybody with a Jaguars uniform on tomorrow. Okay? We are going to beat the stuffing out of those guys, man. It's not even going to be close. It might be over by halftime. Like, you might actually see Hurts and the fellas just sitting on the sideline together from halftime on, just laughing and just, taking selfies, hats, right? doing TikTok dances together, man. You know that Philly gets it. They might be doing this. They might be over there playing on their phones for the rest of the second half, man.
Okay.
Like, we're going to beat these guys bad, man. Like, oh my God. I don't even want to think about what we're going to do. Be honest with you. I don't even want to think about it. Like, it's going to be ugly. I mean, and it's a shame because this might actually cost Doug his job, man. Like, we're going to try to take
Doug
it easy.
Is gone. He's gone.
Yeah, see. Jane, I mean, if we feed Saquon, man, it's going to be.
Oh yeah, Saquon gonna go crazy.
Yeah, if we feed Saquon, man, it's gonna be, man. It's gonna be ground and pound, man. Like, oh my God, the carnage, man. You know what? I might come in here with a Jaguar skin jacket on in a couple of days, man. Let me talk to the fellas, see if I can get one of them Jaguar pelts, man. Make me a headband or something, man. Listen, man, we gonna beat these guys bad, man. Like, I don't know what y'all want to hear me say, man. We gonna beat the brakes off these dudes, man. They gonna need to go to Meineke or something to get a brake job after they leave here, man. Cause we gonna beat the brakes off of them, man. I'm trying to tell you. I'm
All
trying
right,
to tell
I'm
you.
excited about this score. What's the score?
Oh man, the score is going to be, man. I mean, we're at least going to put up a 40 burger. I'm thinking it might be a 50 burger tomorrow, man, with cheese. Yeah, I think we're gonna put up a 50 burger tomorrow, man. I'm gonna say upwards about 50 to now Doug's coming back. They're gonna do a little video for him, so they're gonna be playing inspired. So they might score 13, 50 to 13, man. It's gonna be ugly.
Wow.
It's gonna be
50 to
ugly.
13.
Now, don't forget, we have the tendency to be gentlemen sometimes. To
No,
take
no,
our
no,
feet
no,
off
no,
the
no, no,
gas
no, no.
pedal.
You should have factored that in
No,
before
I
you
don't
gave the
factor
score.
nothing in,
50
man.
to 13. 50
Yeah,
to 13.
50.
You're going to be
50.
disappointed. I'm going to tell you, you're going to be disappointed. If you think they're going to beat them 50, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed
with a win, man. I'm never disappointed with a win, man. I'm
Okay.
never disappointed with a
Right.
win, man.
Rod, what do you have,
You know?
Rod? What do you have?
I got 38-12 Eagles.
Put my Batman hoodie on, man. Got my
38-12?
Batman onesie on, man.
38-12.
Y'all caught me in my jammies, man. I got my Batman onesie. You see, I got my head. Y'all caught me in my jammies. I got about my. I got them from my nap to do this, man. Y'all caught me in my jams, man.
38-12. That's what you said, Rod? 38-12?
Yeah, 38-12. 38-12.
Okay, well, I do have the Eagles winning, but I have it much closer.
Really?
I think it's going to be
36 to 12.
Eagles 24, Jags 21.
What?
Yep.
You know the Jags give up 28 points a game, D.
They won't. They won't tomorrow. They won't tomorrow.
Into the game, we get 28 points.
When they come off the bus, you got 28 already on the scoreboard.
It's gonna be 28 on the scoreboard when
not tomorrow.
After they say, and the home of the brave. Up 28-0, man. We can start from there.
Oh gosh.
No, these are actually my pajamas, James. These are my Batman pajamas, man.
Yeah, he does it up, James. He does it up, man. His
24-21.
Bengal outfits. Yeah. What score you said again, D? 28
24-21.
24-21.
Really?
Wow. 24-21 Eagles. Guy, I'm telling you, they're going to have a scare. They're going to have a scare after coming off of such a dominant game. Look past. Sometimes you can look past the team to a fault, and I'm saying the better team doesn't always win. Now, you guys are a better team. I think you will win, but it's going to be closer than any 50-3 and whatever 38-12. It's going to be a close game. I wouldn't be surprised, and I would not be surprised, and I may clip this, if the Jaguars don't get out to a lead first and then the Eagles storm back to win the game late.
Oh, James is picking Dallas to win too. Thank you, James. Man, guys, I appreciate the love y'all are showing today.
Yeah, Don, I know you like to be the voice of reason or whatever, but I don't understand what your reasons is for this one, bro. Like, we going to
washed up season.
Yeah, we going to. Oh my god.
Yeah, D, I don't know, man. This might be a stretch. I could see the Eagles maybe dropping a few other games or maybe being challenged some, but I just don't see. I don't see, not at home. Now, if they were in Jacksonville, maybe, but I don't know. In Philly, I don't know. I think Philly going to handle them kind of well.
Okay,
so Philly got to get to their. They're going to get to their little ride first.
No, I understand that. What is the?
It's no fall this year, right?
So my question is this: the AFC North. What's the record in the AFC North?
Oh, standings?
No. I'm saying AFC South. Excuse me, AFC South, not North.
So the AFC South standings are: you got Houston at 6-3. They're only a game ahead of Indianapolis, who's 4-4, and then you have Jacksonville at 2-6, and then Titans at 1-6. So that
wait. How'd you?
You said AFC what?
No, you're right. But how are you saying one game ahead if one is 6-3 and the other one's 4-4?
Well, you're going by the losing column. I mean, I know there's a bye in there, so it's about a game and a half. Then they're a game and a half.
A game and a half.
Yeah, because the Titans played 9 games and Indianapolis only played 8. So You know, but you got to go by the loss column. The loss column is how you determine.
Oh yeah, I forgot. This is how you look at stuff. I forgot that you don't look at if it's a team has 8 wins and one has 5. You look at it wins and losses. No, you go by the W's. You don't go by losses. You go by the W because
how you go by?
There's only going to be one team that comes out of that division.
With a W.
You go by your W's, not your losses.
You always go by. That's how they always determine how many games a team is ahead of somebody else. The Buffalo Bills is 4 games over the Jets because they got four less losses than them. The Jets are 6. Jets are 3-6.
You don't look. That's a half. That's a glass half full, half empty. You go how many wins over. I don't look at.
That's how the league looks at it. That ain't nobody don't have empty, half, full, nothing.
If you
that's
look
how the
at
league looks at it. That's how they do it.
So they do okay.
All
so
sports do that.
So if a team is 6-2, right, and a team is 2-6, are you looking at 4 more wins or X amount less losses? What are you looking at?
You're looking at the loss column to determine how many games a team is how far ahead are they leading in that division. It's always the loss column.
So why wouldn't you look at the
not the win column?
See how far they ahead.
Yeah, it's the loss column.
Why wouldn't you look in the win column? I'm just asking.
Because that's how all teams do it. That's how they don't look at win. They don't go by the win column. They go by the loss column. How many games you're ahead of a team? They go by that's the rules. That's how they look at it. It ain't about your own personal.
That's the rules.
Yeah, that's it's not rules. Your own personal feelings about a team and how optimistic you are. It's about that's how they judge a team. You win and lose a division based on the least amount of losses in a division.
So the Texans are, you said 6-3?
Texans are 6-3.
Okay, and you said the Colts, who benched Anthony Richardson for the rest of the year for
4-4.
Are 4-4, right? Mm-hmm. And then who's next?
Jacksonville.
The Jaguars, 2-6.
The Jaguars, they'll be 2-7 after tomorrow, but 2-6 as of today.
2-6. Okay. All right, no problem.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be a close game.
No, it's not.
If they lose, it's gonna be a close game. And Scrap always accuses me of putting the Eagles on upset alert every week. So I'm gonna refrain from putting the Eagles on upset alert.
Don't waste
because I think they're gonna win. But it's gonna be a close game. It's going to be a close game.
You're putting us on close game alert. You're always putting us on some kind of alert, Don. We're going to pummel these guys, man.
Okay. All right. Let's quickly talk about, Rod, you want to talk about the whole Jason Whitlock, LBJ, LeBron James, that whole situation.
Yeah. I just wanted to say you sent. So Don sent a clip in our chat about with Jason Whitlock. We all know Jason Whitlock. He's a sports personality on. I don't even think he's on Fox anymore. Is he still on Fox?
No,
he probably does it out of his. Yeah, he does it out of his garage now.
Out of his garage now, right?
No.
YouTube channel.
He has a little. He got a little platform. He got a studio. His platform is bigger than that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. No, he definitely has a platform. He has a following, and we know that Whitlock has very
conservative
views. Thank you, Donald. Very conservative views and so forth. And some of his views, for myself, I agree with some of his positions, not all. I do feel that some of the things that he say I don't agree with. But in this case with LeBron James, he and it was interesting that he would pull this out now. To me, this is a little nitpicking because this is like an old thing. We know what happened to Takeoff, unfortunately, to the untimely death of and murder of Takeoff. Obviously a well-known rapper, the Migos. We all know him and their fame, their influence, in hip hop and so forth. And so when he died, that was obviously something that impacted a lot of people, particularly in the Black community and in the hip hop culture and so forth and so on. So anyway, but Whitlock decides to run a clip by LeBron, and LeBron was just saying, how the kids today, or at one time, and I probably should maybe play the video today. I should have had that queued or something, but we just decided in our pre-production, we decided to kind of talk about this. So I'm sorry for not having the clip to play for you guys, but But the thing is that LeBron was talking about images and mentorship, if you will, or people that young kids in the black community look up to. It's either an athlete, a musician, or the dope boy, right? And he was talking about that being what it was, you know, when he was growing up or at that time. And I personally believe that that's still the case today. I still think those are images that are heavily portrayed in the eye gate of our young community, and our young people, young black men in particular, and young black women. But that's what we normally see. Those images are the things that are put in front of us, right? Most people don't even know who a Mega Everett is, or Harold Carmichael, or Fred Hampton. They don't even know those people. You know, outside of a Malcolm and Martin, they'll tell you everything else that's going on in the hip hop community, or anything else that I feel sometimes can be destructive to that sense to our community. So, but Whitlock says, you know, he kind of go on with LeBron. Oh, LeBron, you didn't, you know, you live in a bubble, and, you know, you didn't experience the things that other kids did and so forth. And I know you didn't have your father in your house and all that stuff either. You didn't know who your dad was, but, you know, you live in a bubble, and you know, to say what you said about, I guess he thought LeBron was glamorizing that somehow. Like LeBron was saying that it's a good thing that the kids look up to the athlete and to the musician and to the dope boy. But that's not what LeBron was saying. I think he kind of misconstrued what he was saying in that sense. I think LeBron was just pointing out a fact that that's what kids look up to. You know what I mean? In fairness to LeBron, I didn't hear the whole clip because he only clipped a piece of it. So we didn't hear the whole interview. We didn't hear all of it that LeBron said. I mean, this is old. This happened at the time when Takeoff passed away. So obviously the footage is out there. But he just chose to arbitrarily snippet a piece to make a point that I felt was off base, to say that LeBron was somehow glamorizing, you know, this whole imagery of athletes and musicians and dope boys being the model for black kids. And I just thought Whitlock took that out of context. And I don't think that that's what LeBron was saying. That's basically all I wanted to just say, you know, in that regard.
Well, so Whitlock, I have a question. I have a question for you. So do you feel overall, because we're going to discuss how certain athletes use their platform to discuss everything from social issues to politics and all of that. We're going to discuss that really quickly. But do you think overall LeBron has used his platform as it pertains to his community wisely?
I think LeBron is illiterate in certain, in most things as it relates to what needs to be done to advance the black community. I do think LeBron has, in my opinion, good intentions. You know, he's got the school. LeBron has been an upstanding citizen for the most part, as far as, you know, staying out of scandal. I mean, to have that level of scrutiny, visibility, power, and influence, and having everything under a microscope, for all intents and purposes, LeBron has done very well to keep himself out of anything, you know, as far as what we know, right? You know, extramarital affairs, or caught up in any type of business scandals, or caught up in some other stuff that would kind of defame his reputation or challenge his integrity. I think for the most part, he's done well with that. I do think LeBron needs some more insight. I think he might need to talk to some people that have a little bit more of a grip on what's going on, whether that be in the political sphere, you know, things that go on a little bit more within the black community. Because I agree with Whitlock in that point. At least of now, LeBron is in a bubble, right? I mean, he's living on the top of a mansion somewhere on a hill. So yeah, he's insulated from probably being in touch with a lot of things. He knows what's going on in the culture, but maybe not some of the discrepancies and the deficiencies. I think some of the work he's done in Hollywood, you know, some of the things that he put out so far, I think has been okay. I think it's been uplifting. It's bringing some awareness to some of our black heroes and people that was very instrumental to our development and our contribution to this country. I think LeBron has put some good material like that. You know, I think that's a good thing. So I think for all intents and purposes, I think he's done okay, but I do think he's still
that's not a yes or no. That was a yes or no question.
I would say overall, yes. I do think no. I would say he's not. Well, ask the question again. I might have forgot the question again.
Because you were too busy defending him. I said, does LeBron? Do you feel? And I know he wears a Laker uniform, so it's going to be hard to separate the purple and gold from the LeBron. But do you feel that LeBron has used his platform to the degree? Now, we're talking about LeBron being the face of the league for the better part of 20 years. He has gotten deference. He has gotten every opportunity afforded to him to be successful. He was able to manipulate and get his son on a storied franchise, regardless of the fact whether he deserved the 55th pick or not. He was able to maneuver, have teams afraid to draft his son. Do you think a person with that much power has used his platform to the degree that he should have? Now, if we go back
I think he's used his platform well. Other than the Bronny thing, I think LeBron has done well with his platform. I do. I really do. Now, it has nothing to do with the purple and gold. We're talking about his whole career and the landscape of his work and being the face of the NBA since he got to the NBA, which he essentially was. Falling into the purpose, I do think. I think he has. I think he's done things to help the community. I think he's been a model citizen for the NBA for all intents and purposes. He wins on the court. He holds himself down with what would be good comportment and integrity off the court. I think he does. Now the thing with regards to Bronny, that wasn't cool. I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to make a false equivalency here, but I'm just saying people have used their influence in ways to benefit them too. We can say what we want, but we know Jordan kept Isaiah off that Olympic team. So that wasn't cool. And Jordan did what? He used his influence. He knew he was the face of the league. He was the league, and he used his influence to keep another Hall of Famer and a guy who has beaten his tail plenty times prior to that off that team. And that was not cool either to do that. And Jordan, he can say whatever you want, but we all know good and well he had everything to do with him not.
He had some other buy-in from other players, though.
Yeah,
it wasn't solely Jordan.
But their buy-in wasn't going to sway the needle. That was strictly Jordan. If Jordan had issue with it, but didn't mind him being on the team, wouldn't matter what the other guy said. That's all Jordan.
So do you think that Olympic team would have been successful without Jordan? Is the question. We know that he was the biggest.
Yes,
exactly. So.
Are you kidding me? Yes.
All right. So that means that he has power and he had power, but he wasn't by himself the person that you guys, my success is directly tied to me being on the Olympic team. If I'm not here, we lose. They would have still gone on to win, have the success, still been the dream team, regardless if Jordan played or not. Now, obviously, the WNBA should learn from that. You want your biggest star, that's the face of it. You want them to be on the Olympic team, whether you're successful or not. They were successful. The women's team was successful in spite of leaving out their biggest global star. They'll learn from that moving forward.
They will.
But I think that they would have won regardless. So I get what you're saying. Jordan did prevent him. Now, this is what I do want to say.
Okay.
LeBron has had opportunity after opportunity. And just because he is not put in a scandal, that is not exactly the same as using your platform wisely. Now, his platform and the fact that he is influential, and some people foolishly look at sports figures as being role models. Now, you should be looking at your parents. You should be looking at, maybe someone in church, maybe looking at aunt or uncle if your father's not there. Those are the people you should be focusing on.
I think LeBron
has zero bearing other than if you can work a summer job and afford his sneakers or not. He has zero bearing on your life. So first of all, off the bat, looking for sports figures and musicians and the dope boy to kind of frame your life is a huge mistake.
Absolutely. I think LeBron was saying that. That's what he was agreeing with. I think that's what he was saying.
But if we remember, when Takeoff he didn't die. He was murdered, right? So we do have to give it the proper focus. He was murdered. Early, he's in his 20s, unfortunately. When LeBron had an opportunity, if we go back a few different times, when LeBron could have put the NBA, used his platform to put the NBA on hold, he chose to go for a ring. That he got a championship, he got an asterisk, but he got that W. He had an opportunity when you have that power to use it in a sense where everyone's listening to you. You're the face of the league. He has not, in opportunities given to him, maximize. When we talk about when Takeoff died and the video that was referenced, LeBron was talking more about his diamond encrusted necklace, his suit, all of that stuff, instead of focusing on
his own. You talking about LeBron in that same interview? You're saying, what was he saying?
Yeah,
in that same interview?
I think
I have to watch it again. I didn't see it.
So when we talk about, remember, we had a discussion about LeBron having that opportunity to maximize talking about Takeoff, but he was more, and yes, when someone passes unexpectedly, you do want to remember the good times. But at the same time, being a vocal leader and a face of a league, you have a responsibility to then say, hey, while we're here, while you're asking me about this situation, let me highlight the fact that this is happening way too much in my community. Instead of talking about the ring and the music, and he's dropped the ball on that several times.
Well, okay, go ahead. Finish your point. Go ahead.
So I don't agree with Whitlock 100%, but I do understand that given the opportunity. Now, my question to you is this. Do we want players, because now we're getting into a political, Tuesday is going to be, we're voting, right? And those who are maybe have early voted. So there was a big deal made about Bosa during the post-game interview coming with a MAGA hat. And he just kind of points to it and goes about his business. And now we have different athletes, team owners. You got Mark Cuban. You have LeBron James. You have other people who have been very vocal and actually advocates for Kamala Harris. And then you have other players, the Tom Brady's and retired players or active players like Bosa, the quarterback for Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow. They are just as much in line with Donald Trump. Do you think that freedom of speech, and I understand that they want to protect the shield and they don't want to offend the opposite fan base or the opposite beliefs, so they want to keep it neutral as possible. But do you think that, are we getting to a place where a person can't be authentically who they are in their beliefs, or should a company or an entity be able to muffle their freedom of speech, right? And if it's not offensive, and it shouldn't be offensive, that we have the right to vote who we want to vote for. So just as LeBron has said outwardly, he was on a rally saying vote for Kamala, Joe Burrow and Bosa have been outwardly on what's his name? The running back, the second, he's the backup running back.
Oh yeah,
the Packers.
Dillon. Trump rally. Yeah,
Corey Dillon was at his name. I think his name's Corey Dillon. He was at a Trump rally. I don't know if he actually spoke.
AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon. Sorry, AJ Dillon.
Yeah.
He was at the at a Trump rally. I don't know if he got to speak, but my point is this: if we're looking, people need to be more informed. I should not take my cues of who I should vote based on LeBron, based on Bosa, based on Joe Burrow. I can love the team, I can love the players, but are we getting to a point now? I'm not on the side of shut up and dribble, but I'm also realistic in the fact that you should be getting your cues from people that are more in touch, more in line with your community, your parents, some elders, some people that have, some seasoning where you can actually get information. And also, this is in the information age. Get on the internet, do your own research, read a book, read a paper, find out what their their voting history is, and see if it aligns. I suggest that everyone vote. It's very important, but vote your interest. Don't be in any way, shape, or form pressured to vote one way or the other based on what you think is acceptable, what is not acceptable. What do you guys say?
Go ahead, Scrap. I'm sure you want to jump in. I'll respond to Don's question in a minute. Go ahead.
Well, me, I'm not political, so I really don't care who votes for who. But I remember not that long ago, who you voted for was kept secret. Whatever you go into the ballot box and do, that was your own personal business. And I don't know, maybe since Obama, have we really started seeing like athletes, endorsing politicians? Because normally it's, politicians endorsing other politicians, and you see the smear campaigns all over the TVs and all that. That's what I'm used to. Like now, like you said, now you got people showing up with the hats on, and outwardly saying who they're voting for. I mean, I'm fine with that. Like, you vote for who you want to vote for, like I don't I don't care one way or the other. It's like, but you alienate a whole, demographic when you do that, because like some people that really hate Trump and see this guy's voting for Trump, and now they're like, oh my God, you vote like AJ Dillon. Oh my God, bro, you voting for Trump. Like, why do people have their picks on who they want to vote for, and who they supporting or whatever. Like, it's just I feel like, my personal, like with Trump, I have nothing against him. I think his supporters actually was the reason he didn't get reelected. Like they're like extremists, they're over the top. It's like they had a Trump rally in New York last week. I'm getting off of work, and like, yeah, 7 o'clock in the morning, they're out there, the streets is lined, they're out there just saying all kinds of crazy stuff out of their mouths. They see, a person of another ethnicity walk past, and they're yelling obscenities, like 7 o'clock in the morning, bro. Like, did you even brush your teeth yet? Like, it's like I think they take his message and skew it to fit what they believe. And I mean, he's not stupid. He eggs them on. Like you can't call a whole race of people murderers and rapists, because your people are going to run with that. So I think that he's a very smart man. He's a fire starter, and it's just I just don't understand how he's running this time, because like with the whole I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but like the whole assassination attempts and all that. Like, come on, bro. Like, I think he would have won without doing all the theatrics myself. And it's like when you watch the videos of the actual attempt when he supposedly got shot in the air. Like, you heard him say, wait, 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 and he's doing all this. But then there was another video when it was just rumored to be a gun in the room, and they ushered him right out of there. It wasn't the home. Wait, wait, wait. It was none of that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like all this. It seems like the whole election thing is turning into like WWE, man. It's just like it's all theatrics, and at the end of the day, like, this is the stuff that either one I'm going to do actually going to affect us? Are we in that that 1% that's going to get the tax break from Trump, or are we going to get like whatever Kamala's talking about? Like, I don't feel like nothing they do affects me either way. But as far as athletes, I mean, I don't know. I just liked it better when you didn't know who was voting for who. Like, I liked it better. It seemed like we all got along as people better in those days. But now, since that Joe Burrows, and Bosa's for Trump, and that LeBron and whoever else is for Kamala, it just seemed like a natural, like, you just get a bad taste in your mouth, based on who's voting for who. And I mean, I think that causes more division than it does, unity, just based on who you voting for. It's like, because you like, oh, I'm voting for Kamala. Oh, she locked up all these black people, and she's giving strict sentences for all this, and I'm like, bro, like, I don't care about none of that stuff. Like, she was a prosecutor. You're supposed to lock people up when they break the law. You can't have it both ways. It's like these kids, they have a buddy that goes out and kills somebody. 2 days later, they're on Instagram, free bro, free. What he just did. Why would you want him free? Like, I don't understand. Like, man, I don't know, man. It's just so, like, when you get into politics, man, it's just so, like, you just see like what people really think, and that's why I prefer not to talk politics, because I'm not political. Because like Chris Rock said, can't be one thing. That's ignorant. You can't be either just conservative or liberal. You know what I'm saying? It got to be a balance. You see what I'm saying? It got to be a balance. You can't just be one thing, because that's too narrow minded. Like, you could be conservative about some things and liberal about others. You see what I'm saying? But it's like, if you say, oh, I'm liberal about that, oh, you're a lib, oh, this, it's just, I don't know, man. I think the world is going crazy. And that's just me. Like, it's going crazy. Any little thing now with social media, any little thing that you can just turn and just be extreme about, they're doing it, man. It's like, at this point, I'm like, whatever. I'm just waiting for all these ads to come off every time I'm trying to watch a YouTube video, man. I gotta hear, this guy wants girls to compete in male sports and all. I mean, males to compete in girls, but I'm tired of seeing these commercials, bro. Like, yeah, like, yeah. Thank you, James. It's crazy over here, man.
It is crazy.
Crazy over here. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but what you say, Rod?
No, I agree. I actually agree with you, Scrap. I think, going back to the days when we were coming up, you're right. Your coworkers, your neighbors next door, people you knew, you didn't really know which side of the fence they were on politically. And of course, I have to be circumspect and careful, even as I'm having this conversation, as someone of governmental influence. Don't want to violate the Hatch Act, which we have to, kind of abide by, because we don't want to sway anybody. So I'm not here to sway any politician or any political view one way or another. I believe everyone should vote according to whatever their best interest is. It shouldn't be identity politics. You should just vote for whatever is most impactful to you and your family, and how you move. But I would say that I do think, though, the NFL should find a way to allow athletes, though, to have their freedom of speech. If they want to support whoever they want to support, then put something, because the NFL has the power to do this, right? They're the shield. They will make these players conform, right? You tell them they can kneel, and then you tell them they can't kneel, and you do whatever you feel that's going to protect your brand, right? Well, if it gets to this place which we see now with more polarization of politics, as James said, America is nuts. UK, they have differences, but they know how to kind of carry them out and convey them in a very, considerate and in a very, polite kind of way, a respectful and honorable kind of way. Well, NFL needs to find a way to do that, right? I don't think anybody should be shut down on what they believe in if they want to use that, right? Like, and the reason why I say that, again, you see now a lot of athletes, right? From your CJ Strouds to your Jalen Hurts to your Chase Daniels. The first thing these guys, your Jameis Winstons, they're like, hey, they're thanking God, right? They're thanking God. They're very, very open and very transparent about their faith and their belief systems and so forth, right? And I feel like that's something that everybody should be able to do. And if you had a Muslim that came up there, or somebody who was a Buddhist or whoever, and they want to shout out their God, listen, go ahead and do that, because that, to me, should have no bearing on anything. It's not like we're jockeying for position in terms of a country if it is a true democracy. It's something that I think people need to be able to just honor. And if you're the NFL, because of your platform, and like you said, Donald, they don't want to offend one group of their fan base or their viewership, it's really mainly, it's not even their viewers. It's not like you and I, right? We almost really could care less. We're going to watch the NFL tomorrow regardless what happens. It's the advertisers, right? That's who they're really concerned with. It's those people that they get concerned with, because at the end of the day, they play a very influential role in business, politics, and all the other things that we see going on. But I will say this, though, I still think that they are going to be forced at some point. Maybe not at this moment, but it's getting there now, right? Bosa, that was a nationally televised game. He comes up there. He's got the hat. You know what I'm saying? Social media now is showing everybody everywhere supporting their candidates, as you said. So the NBA, the NFL, in Major League Baseball, any of these major platforms now and businesses, they're going to have to find a way, because this generation is way more vocal than what we were. To your point, Scrap, we were more discreet. We just didn't believe we needed all that smoke, and it's okay. You vote for whoever you want to vote for, believe whoever you want to believe in, and we were all good. We still can go to the park and chill. But now it's different. This is a more aggressive generation where they're more vocal. They're not going to be suppressed. They want to express what they want. So now it's going to be up to these entities to find a way. Okay, how do we do this? How do we set up platforms and environments where maybe we could be the model, right? You could have a LeBron James sit down with a Joey Bosa and they can talk and have conversation about whatever their political positions are and that sort of thing. I just say that again, it's important that you do have some education. To your point, Don, you got to get people who know. Are you asking about LeBron? Did he drop the ball? Did he miss a moment where he could have an opportunity to speak up against the violence and the denigration that's in our community? Absolutely. But again, he's illiterate. He doesn't, that's not on his focus or his radar, unfortunately, because, again, either because he's not knowing, or if he does know, he don't want to upset the apple cart, right? Because he's in business with a lot of people. That's probably behind a lot of the perpetuation of what we're seeing in terms of our images in Hollywood. So there's a lot of things that go into that. It goes back to Michael Jordan, who said Republicans buy sneakers too, right? Now, Jordan was a lot younger than a LeBron is today, but at the end of the day, and Jordan, I think, sort of regretted that comment, being young, not really knowing, right? And said in the documentary that, I was wrong for saying that. I probably should have, weighed in a little bit better on that.
I think that back in that
premise,
day,
though.
Same premise. I totally agree.
I think that comment with Jordan back in the day, it just seemed like Republicans was, what is it? Supposed to be white, and Democrats were supposed to be black. It just seemed like that's just how it was supposed to be. So I think that the way Mike, but what James just said, James with Kaepernick, he was protesting, right? And he was protesting, not standing for the anthem. And a lot of people were saying he was disrespecting, the veterans or whatever. But they overlooked that it was veterans that came out and said they don't feel disrespected. And some even kneeled with him. But they're still standing on the fact that, he's disrespecting the veterans. He's disrespecting the vets. But
they advised him to take the kneel, the kneel because he was sitting down at first. People didn't know that. He was sitting down. And it was the veterans that said, if you're going to do that, at least be respectful of and take a knee. And that's what he did. Yeah.
And now even though the veterans came out and said they don't feel disrespected, this, that, and the third, they're still saying, he's disrespecting the country. He's disrespecting the veterans. And the veterans like, no, we good over here. Let him protest the way he want to protest. That's what this country is built on: freedom of speech, freedom to to protest. And they're like, oh no, he's disrespecting the vets. And if he don't love this country, he can leave and all that. It's just, man,
And when you look at the flag too, I mean, you got to first of all, right? We totally violate the flag code in this country anyway, right? The flag is never supposed to be opened up like you see in the games that we do. We have a wide open flag.
It's never supposed to touch the ground and all that. You're not supposed to.
It's a lot of things that the way we handle the flag, everybody waving it like this on it. That's completely against the flag code. You're not supposed to do that. And then the other element
looks cool
of the
on
flag
TV,
has
though.
to be looked at in terms of not only, everyone, when people look at that flag, they see a lot of different things. It means a lot of different things to them. So you have to be able to understand, take into consideration the amalgamation of both the success of this country, the failures of this country, the atrocities of this country, the advancements of this country, people who have fought for this country, both in the country itself, on American soil and outside, right? Protecting against foreign interests and so forth like that. But you got to take into account all of that. And I think what happens is that what I thought Kaepernick did, being a martyr, because that's essentially what he was, because we don't see him anymore, right? In the NFL, at least. He lost his job for that. But it brought the attention to the fact that, we got to stop looking at, like, no one gets to monopolize the perspective or vantage point on how we see a flag, or how we see this country, or how we see the justices or injustices in this country. If we're a true democracy, then we got to be able to embrace all of that, the good, the bad, whatever else that there is. And I think that's where the challenge comes in, because it made us say, maybe we've been seeing this only one way for so long. We never thought much about it, but the Kaepernicks of the world had to come in and take that position, and he do that. Now I think that's where we are with this whole thing. To your question, Donald, should athletes be able to have that? James, I know you said they should do that on their own time and not on their. But at the end of the day, right, because of the platform, because of social media, because of privacy not being what it used to be anymore, where is that private time, right? I mean, there's not a whole lot that you can say or feel in your heart that at some point, if you have the visibility of a Joey Bosa or Joe Burrow or LeBron James, how you feel about a thing is going to come out.
You're going to be asked about it. You're going to get asked about it. There is no way. So, and this is the thing that is realistically we have to look at. If LeBron in a Laker uniform, if Bosa in a Niners uniform, if Burrow in a Bengals uniform, never said anything political, and they solely used it on their own private social media, that doesn't mean it's not going to be questioned. They're not going to be questioned the very next time they're up in a win or a defeat. They will ask them or reference, hey, we noticed that you said this on social media. We saw you in a picture with this person. We said that we seen that you endorsed this candidate. We said that you aligned yourself with said business. So because we're in a social media age, there is no getting away from it. Especially unless you're super private and you don't say anything, make no comments, have no opinion on anything, but that's not the real world, right?
Right.
The second you have an opinion on something, you're going to be questioned about it. You're going to be brought to the carpet, if you will, based on, someone asking you a question about it. And, it might be in a setting where you're at work.
You know what, though? Social media, I ain't mean to cut you off, D, but social media is so crazy, right? That if y'all look on my Facebook thing, my job says I'm a cart collector at Walmart because seriously, because if you say something somebody don't agree with, the first thing they do is they check your thing, see where you work, and they say, oh, at Walmart, is this the kind of people you hire? And they screenshot it and they try to get you fired. They try to take your livelihood away for your opinion. Like, this world is crazy now. So I would never say where I work on social media anywhere. It's not that I say controversial stuff on there anyway, because I'm more of just a scroller and either like or don't say nothing at all. Like, only time I really indulge is in sports. But if it's politics and everything, or if you're talking about like issues like transgenders and sports and all that, I don't comment on none of that. You see what I'm saying? But, if I happen to slip up and say something, I can't let these people know where I work, because they will try to get you fired from your job. I've seen it millions of times over. It's like, people are crazy if you have a difference of opinion. It's like, can't nobody be their own person anymore. You got to go with what's popular. And if you don't, you're seen as being a phobe or, not tolerant.
Right.
It's so
right.
crazy,
That's a very good
man.
point, Scrap. That's a
It's so
very good
crazy.
point. Yeah,
It's
that's
crazy,
a very
bro.
good point. And I think that's dangerous to the fabric of our country. Because again, I should be able to, if I look at a U.S. flag, I should be able to say I can honor, Donald's dad who fought in Nam. I should be able to honor my brother-in-law who did 2 tours in Afghanistan, and still also reflect on the injustices within a community or something else that is plight in our country. So I should be able to honor and still be able to bring awareness to what we need to be able to fix. The flag or anything as it relates to nationalism, which I have a big issue with, is that I feel we idolize these views, and we'll put these views that we've made idols above our kinship, love, respect, the honor, and all the things that we do. Even as a Christian, like, yes, I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian, but I'm not here to impose my Christianity on someone and then excoriate them because they're not a Christian, because then that's not God. That's not me showing the love of Christ. So I can't do that. If anything, I want someone to be compelled by God because of God, because I'm showing them Christ. And then if God begins to deal with them in their heart based on what they're seeing through me, then that's when that conversion begins. But I shouldn't vilify someone because they have another belief or something of that
or they
nature.
don't accept, or they
don't accept. Right.
Yeah,
they just don't accept at all.
Yeah.
And I should not in any way. And there is a clause in the Constitution, and I'll probably share it on our show. I'll probably put it in the chat maybe the next time we get together. I'll put it in our chat though, fellas. There's a clause in the Constitution that really the forefathers of this country never intended for this nation to be a Christian nation. It was supposed to be open to all. That's really what it is. It wasn't that way. It came that way based on obviously the culture of what we did. I mean, obviously it was a Christian culture because of the forefathers were Christians, but at the end of the day, that's not what really their mindset was going into how when they formulated the Constitution, that again, this was supposed to be a country where you really had the liberty and be free to say and speak and to express whatever your beliefs are. And I think we haven't been able to do that. So I think the NFL, that's a good, I never thought about that, Don, but I think NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, all the major platforms, they're going to have to find a way, because I'm telling you, these athletes are going to speak. They're going to say what they want to say. And you might feel, well, athletes come a dime a dozen. We can get that. But this pipeline of this generation, you're going to have pretty much 60 to 70% of all your athletes almost having a voice and an opinion on something. They're all going to have
now. They're going to have social media.
Yeah.
They're all going to have social media.
They're all going to have social media. So what are you going to do? You're going to silence all of these other platforms outside of the entity that you feel you can control their voice on? I don't know if it's going to work. So you're going to have to live with it and find a way to bridge the gap and make the differences work.
Yeah. Well, listen, that's what we do. Good discussion. We talk sports, but listen, we also talk the culture. So when things kind of intersect, sports and politics and all of that stuff, we're not a, overly political show. Obviously, this is a sports platform, but we do discuss it as it relates to sports. And so that's I'm glad we had this discussion. I want to give a shout out to
I got one too. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I got a shout out to. Go ahead.
I want to shout out everyone who joined the show. Good discussion.
Good stuff, guys.
Yeah, good. And we'll see. Sunday should be some interesting games. Hopefully the Cowboys can do something. But floor is yours, Scrap.
Oh no, I'm just saying, in the honor of the election coming up, I just want to give a shout out to Tisha from the office. She came in today with a presidential brooch on, man. She had a big brooch on her jacket.
Oh, did she?
Yes, she did. I said, "Oh, you letting them know who's in charge, man." I said, "When you wear a brooch, you in a whole different stratosphere, of authority, man." So I told her that. I said, "Oh, Tish, you came here with a brooch on. You let them know it's not a game
All
today,
right, James,
man."
peace. Oh, that's cool. That's what's up, man. That's what's
I'm gonna cut that and send it to her too.
Yeah, man. Once again, everyone, please like, share, subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube page, Instagram, all of that good stuff. We're going to be getting on TikTok soon. We thank everyone for joining us. Until next time, fellas, peace.
Peace.
What am I waiting for? I'm waiting for this. Sorry, guys. See, I'm trying to do